Some images feel like a painting long before you even pick up a brush. This one was taken by my uncle back when he was learning photography. It has always reminded me of Jean Paul Lemieux. Quiet, understated, familiar, and full of atmosphere. That's where we're going today. Welcome to week 5 of my 2026 self-portrait challenge. I'm Dominique, an artist living in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. I'm leaning into a Jean Paul Lemieux-inspired style. Jean Paul Lemieux was born in Quebec City on November 18, 1904. What I love about his portraits is their quiet intensity. His figures are simple, almost stripped down, yet they hold so much emotion. Lemieux wasn't painting likenesses, he was painting atmospheres, memories, the feeling of being together yet slightly apart, which is how I've always felt in social gatherings. And La Visite has always been my favorite. Every time I see it, I'm brought back to childhood Christmases, getting dressed up, going to visit family. The people in this painting feel like people I knew. The mood feels like a moment I've lived. And that sense of quiet nostalgia is what inspired my latest portrait. And even though I'm using a beginner-friendly medium, gouache, I feel very intimidated challenging myself to create a portrait inspired by Lemieux's awe-inspiring style. This photo was taken on the day of my first communion. I'm standing in the doorway of a coat closet, caught mid-gesture, either taking off or putting on my little cape, I don't remember. And the entire outfit I'm wearing was handmade by my paternal grandmother. She sewed so many of my fancy childhood outfits, and this one is one of those most memorable ones. I mean, come on, what 7-year-old wouldn't have loved getting to wear a fancy cape? And that day, both sides of my family, my mother's and my father's, were gathered in our home to celebrate. It was one of those rare moments where everyone was together under the same roof, and the photo itself was taken by one of my uncles, who at the time was learning photography. And there's something about the way he framed that moment, the stillness, the simplicity, that feels almost painterly, and it's part of why the image always reminded me of Jean Paul Lemieux. For this painting, I'm focusing on simplifying the shapes. The doorway, the cape, the straight lines of the coat closet, and the coats. Lemieux's work often uses large, quiet planes of color, so I'm trying very hard to resist the urge to over-render. As I'm painting, I'm also thinking about my grandmother, the one who made this outfit, and the care she put into everything she sewed. Recreating this moment feels like a way of honoring her craftsmanship. And then there's my maternal grandmother. She was the grandmother I was closest to. She was kind, funny, and musical, and she used to sing in the church choir and play the organ, even though she couldn't read music. She died of cancer on August 4th, 1982, just 4 months after this photo was taken. And looking at this image now, knowing what was coming, gives it a different kind of weight. It captures a moment when both sides of my family were together, when she was still with us, when life still felt whole in that uncomplicated childhood way. And there's my uncle behind the camera, learning photography. And you'll likely see other photos he's taken throughout this challenge. And anytime I see photos taken of our family gatherings, I think of my mom and how she used to entertain everyone by being silly and making everyone laugh. Unlike many other kids, I was never embarrassed by my mom. I always thought she was so cool. Anyway, I love that this portrait brings together different layers of creativity in my family. My uncle's photography, my paternal grandmother's sewing, my maternal grandmother's presence, my mom's silliness, and now my own art practice. It feels like a small creative lineage captured in a single frame. I'm trying to keep the colors desaturated, trying to build the layers slowly, which is not how I usually work. I'm trying to let the stillness of the moment guide the painting, not overworking it, not adding unnecessary details, just letting the atmosphere speak. I like how each weekly portrait shows different versions of myself. Week 1 was a cute moment when my parents decided to celebrate the new year with us when we woke up unexpectedly after they came back from their New Year's party. For week 2, like Sandy Q6551 put it, I turned my Mona Lisa smile into a frown, which, as it turns out, actually ended up reflecting how I was feeling more than the original selfie did. For week 3, I revisited a portrait I originally did in 2023 in ballpoint pen, but this time I used watercolor, and the results showing my growth as an artist. And week 4, using crayons forced me to let go of trying to achieve perfection, and there's no way I could be precise in my colors or shapes with crayons. And for this week, this one feels ceremonial, but also very intimate. It's a moment between moments, and it holds many layers of family, memory, and loss that I didn't fully understand at the time. My favorite part of this painting is actually the coat closet. It almost makes me want to work in gouache a little bit more often. Have you ever tried something like this? What artist would you like to emulate and learn from? Tell me in the comments. I hope you enjoyed watching the process unfold. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you next week.